Hi guys, it's Jessica Lane and welcome back. So for the last and final economic indicator, right, we're going to go over housing data. Now, when we're looking at housing data, it's very interesting because it's a frequent news release, which means that traders don't really take it into consideration due to its frequency. But if you're looking at Forex Factory and you don't particularly see a red folder beside it, that's because traders really look at it as boring, right? However, it's important because it gives us a broader insight into what's actually happening in the economy. So earlier when I talked about economic cycles, it's very similar to that. So when we're looking at the different sectors, the housing sector is very, very sensitive to interest rates because mortgage rates changes are based off of interest rate changes. And economists and analysts will watch for longer term trends in housing. So when analysts are looking at the news release, the housing market gives us insight into consumer confidence and consumer spending, right? And the more confident consumers feel, the more they're going to spend. The more they spend, the more the housing market will be in demand. And ultimately it shows economic growth. So inside of this sector, you have home sales, you have building permits, you have loan and mortgage data. You don't have to really know them all in detail, but the most important thing is really being able to see how this market is really given out and understand how this economic growth will either increase or decrease. Now, I know it was a lot of information, so don't feel overwhelmed because as I mentioned, I keep emphasizing that I have trader friends that are technical analysts only, and I have trader friends that are fundamental analysts only. However, you understanding both will put you above the edge. But when it comes to news, I just gave you guys the best possible explanation of the most important economic indicators there are. But again, when understanding them, it's very important to grasp some key factors. First off, the ability to have your own thought process and trading is paramount because there's so much news out there. Okay. And as an investor, you have to understand how our economy works and how things are affected. Like I broke down the main economic indicators because with the surplus of articles that are released every single day, I want you guys to really understand by weight, what is the most important, okay? It's common sense to really understand positive news affects the market in a good way and negative news will really have a decline. However, I tried to break down in detail the understanding of the actual numbers compared to the expectation and the perceived or the forecast, because even if a number is positive, if it's not good as expected, a currency can still drop. Okay. And that goes the same for a negative release. Fundamental news isn't something that you can just hear and have it all in one sitting because it's continuous information that shifts the market each and every day. However, a lot of the key factors that I just broke down will help you guys save a lot of time if you can grasp the principles and apply them to everything. For news releases, again, I use FX Street and I use Market Watch. However, Forex Factory is great. It's completely free. And as I've already mentioned, Forex Factory literally color codes all their news release to help you guys understand its impact. Just remember how important it is to look at the previous releases so you can understand the past correlation to the actual or expectation of what is happening now. Okay. Again, I'm Jessica Lane, and I hope you guys enjoyed this portion of the course.